Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the NFC West Predictions. Now this is a division that I'm actually excited to watch because the two heavyweights that are going to be battling for it are going to go for the jugular every time they play each other. Let's start off. Unfortunately, the Cardinals are the worst team in the division. I can't act like they're not. I can't. I'm not a Kyler Murray fan. I like Josh Rosen more than I like Kyler Murray. And I know Kyler Murray, he's got talent. Yes. But he's small. Like it or not, Kyler Murray is small. Russell Wilson got him drafted. But Russell Wilson would look like a giant compared to Kyler Murray. When Russell Wilson is going to tower over you, you're small. You are small. And you can say Kyler Murray is 5'10". I saw him stand next to Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown is listed as 5'9". He's a good 2 inches taller than Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is 5'8" at most. And there's nothing wrong with being 5'8". I'm 5'8" myself. But I know you're not going to be able to see over 6-foot offensive linemen easily. But let's go over some positives for the Cardinals. Got Larry Fitzgerald. I like Christian Kirk. Yeah, that's it. That's all the positives I have for the Cardinals. I'm not a Cliff Kingsbury fan. I'm not. I don't like the Cardinals O-line. I don't. I've never been a David Johnson fan. Their defense, Chandler Jones, he's getting older. Got Patrick Peterson, but he's suspended for the first 6 games. I got Robert Alford, who you signed, is out for pretty much the season. I mean, Budda Baker looks good. Yeah, I got nothing for you Cardinals fans. I seriously think the Cardinals will be picking first again next year. If not, at the very least, top 5. Now, third place team, San Francisco 49ers. I don't see a lot of turnover in this division, to be honest. I think it's going to be pretty close to last year. Pretty much identical almost to the point. Except I think one team does a little bit better and one team does a little bit worse. But why do I think the 49ers are the third best team? I don't know if Jimmy Garoppolo can play an entire season. I think Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. I think Nick Mullins proved he's a good backup. But Jimmy Garoppolo needs to stay healthy. I mean, he's getting paid all this money. They're investing everything in Jimmy Garoppolo, and he can't stay on the football field. Now, he had that great stretch for the 49ers a couple years ago. But even last year when he did play, I wasn't like, oh my god, that's the franchise guy. I was like, yeah, he's a good starter. Maybe he can be great, but I don't see it. And you look at the receiving corps, that could be a part of it. They don't really have anyone that makes you go, wow, we got to cover him. They did make some additions in the offseason. I do like Jalen Hurd a lot. Out of Baylor, I think he's a good receiver. I think he might take a year or two to develop. I think he was a good pick. Running backs, Tevin Coleman will be a good running back for them, along with Matt Breida. That's a good 1-2 punch. Now defensively, Solomon Thomas, he has not lived up to his stock where he was drafted, which I was against where he was drafted. Didn't think he was that type of talent. Now, I do think they have a talented player they just drafted, but I'm not taking that high. I do not like Nick Bosa drafted in the top 10 because I don't think he'll stay healthy throughout his career. I think he's going to have a lot of injuries, and I don't think he'll be on the field as much as he will be on the sideline recovering. Nick Bosa is a top 5 talent. There's no doubt about it. But I can't trust him to stay on the field due to his injury history. You look at their secondary, nothing that really makes you worry. I mean, Richard Sherman, he's fallen off a bit due to his Achilles injury, but he can still play good. Just not what he once was, in my opinion. Linebackers, they messed up with Reuben Foster. Nothing more you can say at their linebacker position. Defensive line is really their strength, in my opinion, with Armstead, Forrest Buckner, Nick Bosa, if he can stay healthy, yes. Solomon Thomas, he can be a decent run stuffer for them. But that's it. I don't really look at the 49ers as highly as everyone else does. Could I be proven wrong? Absolutely. But right now, they just scream 6-10. Now, second place. Now, I think you could swap 1 and 2 no matter what. But I'm going to give second place to the Seahawks. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Rams, and I'll give my reason why. But the reason why I'm going to put the Seahawks in second place right now is because they got rid of Frank Clark. We don't know who their pass rusher is on defense. Even though I think Russell Wilson is the best quarterback in this division, even though I think Pete Carroll's probably the best coach in this division, still, this can all change. I'm not saying Sean McVay cannot overtake him. My personal opinion, Pete's better. I think the Seahawks have a good receiving core. Whilst Doug Baldwin hurts, but I like DK Metcalf a lot, and Tyler Lockett is great on the deep ball with Russell Wilson. Tight ends, Will Disley, he's something to watch out for. Offensive line improved last year. I expect to see more improvement from them. They got Mike Iupati. If he can stay healthy, it'll help their run game. Chris Carson, Rashard Penny, good 1-2 punch. Defensively, here's where I have them finishing second. I think losing Jerron Reed for the first 6 games is huge. I think trading Frank Clark, even though I think it was the right move, will still hurt them this year. Linebackers, on the other hand, is a strength. Michael Kendricks, if he can stay on the field, he's a good linebacker. Bobby Wagner, one of the best linebackers in the league. KJ Wright, maybe the most underrated linebacker in the league. Great linebacker set, could not complain for a second on them. Secondary, Shaquille Griffin, I really like him. I think he's got all the potential to be a shutdown corner, but he hasn't reached that yet. Look at the opposite side, Trey Flowers. He's a little bit too handsy for me. He seems to always get himself in pass interference calls. Losing Justin Coleman to Detroit was huge for the nickelback, but bringing back Deshaun Shedd, that can be very interesting. Safeties, TJ McDonald. Losing Earl Thomas, yeah, but they really didn't have Earl Thomas for the majority of their games last year. And Seahawks fans know how well kicking is. Just ask Blair Walsh, or fans who watch Blair Walsh kick in the Minnesota playoff game and in Seattle. So ask them, they know kicking is important. Jason Myers, Pro Bowler last year, surprised me when I saw that. Don't really know about him. He's been inconsistent in the past. He has had some rough years in his past, but he's also had some good years. We'll have to wait and see on that one. Punter, Michael Dixon, maybe the best punter in the NFL, if not the most fun to watch. Now let's talk about the first place Rams. Why do I think the Rams will finish first place? Well, I'm going to give them an edge because even though I think Russell Wilson's the better quarterback, I don't think the Seahawks have a guy that can stop Aaron Donald in defense. I mean, O-line. Aaron Donald is a game wrecker. He's not a game changer. He's a game wrecker. He's the person that you just take the playbook and you throw it aside and you have to just call it on the fly just to hope you can slow him down. Now, they did lose Ndamukong Suh. Aaron Donald can make up for that. You can put 3 guys on him. I'm pretty sure he'll find a way to get to the quarterback. Secondary, man, I love the addition of Eric Weddle. I think Eric Weddle can still go. Even though he's not what he once was, he can still go and he can just manage that defense. He will manage that secondary. He will be the quarterback of that defense, and that's great. Linebackers, Rams have not really had a great linebacker, but they don't need them, it seems like. It seems like whatever Wade Phillips has him do works good enough. Now, offensive line, they did lose some guys, but nothing that really concerns me too much. Really, their big thing that they need to worry about is Andrew Whitworth. If he can remain how he is, they'll be fine, but if he falls off, they could be in trouble. Running backs, Todd Gurley, I'm scared of Todd Gurley. I'm scared that he's exiting his prime now. Arthritis in the knees is not something good. No matter who you are, that will hurt you and slow you down. I'm not saying Todd Gurley is going to completely disappear off the NFL scene. No, he'll still produce. He's Todd Gurley. He's a good running back. But those knees just make me terrified. Now let me talk about a positive theme for Rams fans. You're getting your best wide receiver back in Cooper Kupp. If you think Brandon Cook's the Rams' best wide receiver, go watch them play football. You are dead wrong. Cooper Kupp makes that offense work. He's in the slot. He's all over the place. He is fun to watch. And from a guy who played in the FCS to now be the best wide receiver on the NFC champions, even though he got hurt last year, he is their best wide receiver, and you can tell. Now, why also do I think the Rams are going to win the division? I think Goff takes a step forward. He looked more comfortable at the end of the season last year. He looked like the number one pick. He looked comfortable. He looked like he was going to be the face of that team. It didn't seem like during that playoff stretch to me it was Todd Gurley's team anymore. It was Jared Goff's team. And that's huge for me because I've questioned if Goff is that leader. I've questioned if he is that number one QB. He proved to me last year he's got the tools. Now it's time to put them together and go forward. Now, I did say you could easily swap 1 and 2 in my mind because the Super Bowl hangover is a thing. It has affected teams in the past. Eagles, they still made the playoffs, but barely by the skins of their teeth. Falcons made the playoffs by the skins of their teeth. It can affect a team. Panthers, Broncos even, they won it and they fell off. You can say that was lost a quarterback, but really that was losing Garrett Kubiak, to be honest. The Super Bowl hangover is a thing. So if the Seahawks take the division, it's not because the Rams are bad. It's because they're mentally adjusting still. A lot of people need to remember these athletes have minds and they can overthink things. They can get in their own heads and they can make simple mistakes. If you see the Rams struggle early, it's because of that this year. It's not because they're a bad team. It's because they're just mentally in their own heads and they'll get out of it. The Rams have enough talent that even if they're in their heads early in the season, even if they start the season off poorly, they can still make the playoffs. They have the talent. They have 2 great coaches, Sean McVay and Wade Phillips. They'll be fine. But they need to ride the ship early if it is bad. Now let's talk about the breakout player in the NFC West. Now the breakout player can go to a couple people. And I've been saying this a lot recently, but it is the case because when you look at the talent, there's talent on every team. The Cardinals, you have Christian Kirk, who I really like. The 49ers, you can make a case for Jimmy Garoppolo. Seahawks, Rashard Penny. Rams, Cooper Kupp, because people still don't know his name. Somehow they don't. So I'm going to look at all this, and I'm going to take Rashard Penny. Rashard Penny's going to have a breakout year for the Seahawks simply because he's the complete opposite of Chris Carson. And that's a good thing. Because when you are with Chris Carson is going to wear down defenders. There is going to be trouble tackling Rashard Penny because he's so quick. He's so elusive. Once you deal with the bruiser, then you come in with the lightning, it ain't going to be fun. That is going to be a deadly combo this year. Rashard Penny will be used like an Alvin Kamara type role with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. That's the role we'll see with Rashard Penny. You'll have the bruiser and Chris Carson, and then you have the guy that's running all over the field that no one can touch, Rashard Penny. Now let's go to MVP. Now, MVP of this division is hard because there are 2 guys I really like, and then there's a guy that you just can't ignore. We'll start with the guy you can't ignore. His name's Aaron Donald. He's a monster. Now, the 2 guys I really like, Russell Wilson, Jared Goff. I have the Rams win the division. I think they win the division, but I think Russell Wilson's the MVP of this division. Why do I think Russell Wilson's the MVP of this division? Because I think Russell's got more he has to overcome to have a shot at winning the division. The Seahawks don't have as much talent as the Rams do. Now, I think the Rams' contracts are going to catch up to them here soon. But they have more talent currently. Seahawks don't have as much talent, but they have the potential. You got Russell Wilson. He knows how to throw the ball to Tyler Lockett. They had a perfect passer rating last year. That cannot be ignored. You have DK Metcalf, who can stretch the field. He is a great stride runner. He's great on slants. He can get up and go. And also, you got two backs that can help ease the pressure for him. A quarterback's best friend is a running game because defenses don't know what to do. Russell Wilson is great off play action. He is great. Now, a key guy to watch out for this year is Will Disley. If Russell Wilson and Will Disley get that connection going, it's going to be a huge plus for Seattle. That's why I have Russell Wilson winning the MVP of the NFC West.